Osiris.
Good morning, everybody. This is RJ. This is The Drop. I'm back. I've been traveling for a couple weeks, and now I'm here. So took a little break, but wanted to keep bringing The Drop to you. And so here we are. So a few things I want to tell you about. There was an article in Billboard about AI creeping into the functional music market. This is fascinating to me. I've talked about this a lot, but there's basically a new trend, which maybe you all know about, but there are millions of AI-powered songs, if you can call them songs, dreamscapes, sleep sounds, all that stuff that are coming onto the streaming music platform, Spotify in particular. In this article is highlighted, but it's interesting because as opposed to bands uploading songs to Spotify or going to the studio to create a record or, creating music to express themselves or express creativity. This is described in this article is that these songs, if you can call them that, are engineered to help people achieve a certain cognitive state. So sleep, studying, relaxation, and then there's, laid back instrumental hip hop and lo-fi. I once in a while I'll click on one of these playlists if I'm feeling in a particular mood, but most of the time I'm listening to albums. But, it seems to be the way of the future. And WMG has done a bunch of stuff. Universal has done a bunch of stuff. I mean, the labels are getting into this, but the Universal Music Group's chairman CEO wrote recently that great music is under threat from a flood of lower quality functional content that in some cases can barely pass for music. It's really interesting. I'm fascinated by how this will continue to evolve. If you have thoughts, I wonder, do people go to those sleep playlists? I go to sleep in the quiet, although I always have a fan on. But do you use these sleep playlists or things to get in focus, or do you listen to, I guess, what I would consider music? Let me know. I'm curious. This is going to continue to evolve, obviously, but AI is going to continue to influence how music is made and consumed, and I think it's all pretty fascinating. Okay, there's an article in The Ringer, All You Touch and All You See, Dark Side of the Moon at 50. Of course, this year we're going to see a lot about Dark Side of the Moon, 50th anniversary. This article is about the legacy of the album, and reflecting back on it, this is one of the first albums I had. I'm sure most people listening, same thing. And it's timeless in a way. There's something about it that the story is a cohesive journey. I mean, there's something about it that's just fantastic and that I think is sort of unmatched in a lot of ways. But this article goes into depth. I'll put the link in the show notes about what is the legacy of this and why is it still, one of the most, not only one of the most popular albums, but one of the most iconic. Both of my daughters have shirts with the Dark Side of the Moon album cover on it, and they've never heard the album. So it's interesting how culturally as well as musically, it's just it's a huge influence. So check that article out. All right. If you didn't know this and you are a Phish fan, Phish Summer Tour tickets go on sale today. So check the link in the show notes. You might want to get hip to this because, that's happening today. I'm curious what everyone thinks about the Phish Summer Tour dates. There's of course the 7 nights at Madison Square Garden. They're going to hit Star Lake and Alpharetta and the Man, Syracuse, Wilmington, North Carolina, Huntsville, Alabama, and of course Dick's. It's interesting when you look at it from the venue point of view. They're not hitting that many venues, but spending a little bit of time at many of these venues, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited. I'm going to be at the Man. Curious where everybody's going, and of course we have Spring Tour that's coming up soon. And I should have mentioned one of the reasons I've been gone for a little while. I actually had a work trip and a personal trip with my family, and then my wife and I went to Mexico. And it was our 3rd time in Mexico, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's a beautiful place. It's sunny and 80 the whole time. It's one of the most relaxing things you can possibly do. Even though you see 4 Phish shows, the whole ambiance of the entire thing is just amazing. So I can't recommend it enough. We're going to try to go every year if we can. It's our one vacation away from our kids per year. Anyway, Mexico's great. Lastly, Fans.live is going to be streaming all of the Goose at the Cap shows. There are 5 shows coming up next week. If you were not aware, hopefully you are already. We're doing an afternoon show on Sunday, March 12th. It's already sold out. It's sold out in 2 minutes, which is pretty great. But sorry for those of you who got shut out. We're seeing what we can do if there's any more tickets available. But we are going to be interviewing Rick and Peter and Jeff, and they're going to be playing acoustic music. I'm actually putting together the run of show and the questions and the conversation outline right now. So if you have questions you would like to ask Rick, Peter, or Jeff about all things Goose, all things music, let me know, and I will try to integrate those as I kind of put together the run of show. Tom and I will be interviewing them, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Osiris.